Hey Chelsea, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for joining me today.
Hmm.
Celebrating 10 years for Plotly.
Yeah.
It's been quite a journey, especially for you. You have been with us since what, 2014?
2015, I think. Yep.
2015. 2015. So you must have seen a lot as the company matured and grew in size and in quality and in products. Um, I I think what I'd love to hear is what maybe a little bit about your journey. How did everything get started?
Yeah, definitely. So before I started working here, I actually started using Plotly, and I was doing my master's at McGill and working in Python, MATLAB, and R. And so I was creating a lot of different graphs and spending a lot of time working through the styling, just trying to make those graphs look consistent as they were coming from different tools. And when I realized Plotly had graphing APIs for all of those languages and was able to try that out, it made a huge difference in creating not only better, more visually appealing graphs, but also just saving a lot of time, where I had a consistent visualization at the end. Mhm.
So discovering Plotly really helped like your studies during your masters. And then so you discovered us. You're like Plotly is the best place graphing library in the world. What next? Like what? How did then like immediately after you graduated you apply for a job or what happened?
Yeah, so it was almost simultaneous to discovering Plotly. So unfortunately, I did discover Plotly only towards the end of my studies. So it could have saved me a lot of time beforehand, but I discovered it nonetheless. So that's good. And yeah, I realized that it was a company that was based in Montreal, where I was living. And furthermore, I realized that Chuck, who had been studying at McGill in the cohort above me, was working at Plotly, and he's still here as one of our tech ops engineers as well. So happy 9 years to Chuck.
Chuck.
But yeah, I realized that the company was based in Montreal and saw it on a Montreal startup night, where startups open their doors to people that are interested in working there. And I didn't make it over to the office that night, but it sparked an interest, and I ended up applying shortly after. Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then do you remember anything about like your initial interview when you applied?
Yes, Um, it was very casual. It was actually um, pretty much my first interview for a career job.
Oh wow.
So this is so silly, but I had a whole interview outfit planned. And then before I left, I thought like, oh, it's probably going to be a more casual setting. So I ended up changing and wearing something more casual, but it was good. And yeah, I was hired
I,
very
I
shortly
can't
after that interview.
I can't believe it. Like the first career job interview, you landed and you got the job. That's pretty
Yeah.
remarkable.
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
so you started with Plotly. Shortly after your master's degree, knew Chuck, and we already knew that our product or a graphing library. How did your role look like when you first started?
Yeah. So when I started, I was still finishing up my thesis and my master's degree. So I started part time, and my initial tasks were writing documentation and blog posts. And so this was super fun because it was very parallel to my studies. So I was writing documentation for the graphing libraries in R, MATLAB, and Python. So pretty similar to the graphs I was
Right.
creating for my own research. So that was, yeah, a nice first task, and then that kind of lended me to working on more of the software development, so actually working on developing in the APIs. And that was the first major point of growth for me, I think, because I always considered myself a data scientist rather than a software developer or a programmer. Like I didn't really ever think I could code. I just did data analysis. So being able to work on software development in a field that I was already comfortable in, data science, was an amazing opportunity, and I learned a lot very quickly.
Sweet. So right now we're like timeline wise, what are we like in 2016 or so? You're working in the
Exactly.
API? Okay.
Yeah, end of 2015,
Okay.
probably. Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
how did you I know right now you're a head of a completely new department. How did that transition happen?
Yeah, so when I started, we were a very small company. So everyone just kind of did a little bit of everything, which was really amazing at the time because, again, I was just learning so much every single day. And after working on the graphing libraries, we ended up open sourcing Plotly JS and then open sourcing the graphing libraries as well, which was a very exciting milestone. And this was really interesting from a new developer standpoint as well, because I went from just learning how to develop to writing code that was open source. So anybody in the world could see the commits and history. And
Oh
so
wow.
it it set, I think for me, it set me up for writing code carefully and like
Mm.
making comments, and it put a lot of good habits in place for me. So I was extremely grateful for that opportunity, extremely grateful that we open sourced when we did, and that was really cool. And then this also set me up for a different change where after open sourcing the libraries, that means that people would be able to open issues and ask questions
Right.
directly in our repositories. So as somebody that was developing, I was also talking to users in issues and
Um,
analyzing bugs and different things like that. So that was kind of the start of a support track.
okay.
Mhm.
And just to clarify, your title today, what are you in charge of today?
So right now I'm our VP of Customer Success. So I'm managing our customer success team, which is split into a few different tracks. So we have directly that I'm managing, we have a solution support team. So they're responsible for our customers' usage support. So any graphing, Dash applications, Dash app deployment, any way that they're using any of our libraries or products, the solution support team is responsible for helping them. Then we also have an infrastructure and installation support team. So they're responsible for installing the enterprise infrastructure on the client's environment. And then we also this year recently created an onboarding team, which is really focused on the orientation and training when we get new customers. So just making sure that our customers get the most out of our product. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I mean, we probably have like hundreds, if not thousands, of customers that we need to support. And it wasn't obviously like that. At the very beginning, you mentioned we open source our code, started getting some bug reports. How did your role and customer support in general change as Plotly grew and our customer numbers grew?
Yeah, definitely. So it was a very interesting experience because, as I mentioned, I wasn't doing support directly, and that wasn't the role that I started with, or even the role that I interviewed for
Right.
initially. So it happened pretty naturally as Plotly started to grow. I was, talking to users more in the repos. We were getting emails from some of our initial enterprise customers that I would work with and respond to. And then I started working with our sales exec at the time to do some of the pre-sales demos. So I started doing more and more customer facing
Mm.
tasks, which was a big personal growth step for me, because when I first started, I was really just comfortable working at my computer by myself. I was pretty nervous to talk to new people, nervous to get on screen shares with a few individuals, let alone present to whole companies. So it definitely took some confidence building. But in the end, I've developed skills that I would never have imagined that I'd be using day to day 8 years ago. So that's been a really amazing experience that I am extremely grateful for. And I'm just so happy the people that I've been working with throughout all these years were around to support and encourage me and create an environment that I was, encouraged to grow in.
Yeah.
That's been a really awesome experience.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, the fact that you've been with us since 2014, 15, not only is this you've helped us grow so much as a company, building pretty much the department from the ground up, but also helped you grow as a person, mutually beneficial. Kind of
Yes,
awesome.
definitely.
Okay, so right now we're in a very good spot where we have many customers that we're helping, a pretty solid customer support team. When looking to the future, what are you most excited about?
Yeah, I'm excited to continue building the team. So as we get more customers, we can continue building the team more. In the um, recent months, we've been able to expand our team to pretty much a worldwide team. And so we've focused a lot on not only expansion, but team building throughout that expansion. So it's really important for me that as we expand, we're creating that same encouraging environment that I felt when I was getting started. So as we're building the team out all over the globe, we're definitely trying to create shifts in cohorts. So people have learning companions and can continue to grow and increase their knowledge with the support of others as well. Mm-hmm.
It must be so different, like you starting alone as an individual contributor and then slightly having a small team where you can interact with everybody on like on a daily basis. And now when you have a larger department that takes care of hundreds of customers, then these are challenging things, right? To try and create this culture of community.
Yeah, definitely. Culture of community and openness. And especially, it's important that when you're working in a support or customer facing role, that you're teaching the customers and the users every day, but it's important to teach yourself and continue learning yourself as well. So definitely a big focus on learning and skill gaining and expansion for all of the individuals on the team. Mm-hmm.
And I guess one thing that shows that must feel good is this reward that you received.
Ah, yes.
What was it? Can you remind me?
Yeah, so we received a Stevie Award for a bronze category Stevie Award for customer support on our team. And that was really awesome. Part of the contribution to the award was that our team is using Dash Enterprise, our product, on a day-to-day basis to improve efficiency as well as learning and communication. So internally, we have Dash applications that we use to track what's going on a day-to-day basis, and that was able, that facilitated how we work as a team,
Wow.
especially as a global team. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So maybe to finish, what would you say what are you most proud of over the last 10 years since probably was founded?
Yeah, I think there's so many aspects that I'm proud of, but I'm very proud of being able to create a team that is focused on learning and growth. And so one thing that I mean by that is when I started doing data analysis and then transitioning into software development, I was pretty intimidated, and coding can be kind of a difficult thing to pick up. Um, and our product is a Python framework. So we get new users that might be beginners in Python. And it's really important that our team and our support and our onboarding process really facilitates learning and makes people feel like they have support every step of the way. So I'm really proud of creating a program that can help people expand their knowledge and use new tools. So in addition to just using our software, they're also gaining new skills and learning
Right.
more about Python and different subjects like that. So that's something that I'm really proud of. And in relation to that, I'm just really proud of the positive feedback that we get from customers. So we can see that our day-to-day work is making a difference.
Yeah, I second that. I often see the positive feedback when we share it in our internal communication, and it's pretty amazing how happy our customers are with you, your department, everything that you do. So thank you for all
Yeah.
that.
Yep, definitely. Yes, definitely a department-wide, if not company-wide effort there. So, yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. Cool. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for joining us today. Honestly, we're lucky to have you in our company. I'm lucky to have you here with me, and I appreciate all the time that you gave us sharing all of this.
Yeah, definitely. Lucky to be here as well.
Thank you, Chelsea.